There are many tools out there to help people write, whether they're writing professionally or they're writing for academics and scholarly research. Now, the one tool that I've used for a number of years, especially even before the massive increase in AI work, is Grammarly. And Grammarly is a tool that I use so much that I started with the free version, but I've upgraded to the professional version, and it's worth every cent that I pay. Because for thoughtfully engaged scholars, Grammarly is really helpful. Whether English is your first language, such as mine, or English is your second or even third language, Grammarly is really helpful. And to be fair, I don't get compensated for Grammarly for doing this. I'm not invested in them or anything like that, nor do I work for them. But Grammarly enhances the clarity and coherence of the message. And while I do know how to write, I do find that often the voice that I have in my head as I'm writing does not come to clarity on the paper. In general, it does. But we can never really proofread our own work. And when we're engaged in scholarly or professional writing, we often need somebody to peer review what we've written, because a different voice will see different things and will understand our communication in a slightly different way. So in that sense, Grammarly is really helpful because it provides a real-time support, real-time feedback based on what we're writing. Now, it's not perfect, and the AI in Grammarly has definitely improved over the years, but it is not perfect. But I would say that for my own personal writing, about 96% of what it recommends, 97%, is accurate, and I accept. However, I do look at everything it says for grammar, style, and tone, and I use it to inform, will this help my writing communicate whatever it is that I'm trying to communicate? Or do I disagree with it? And if I disagree with it, Grammarly is very easy to just say no and just dismiss it. But because it helps to maintain a certain kind of consistency in what I'm trying to communicate, I find it really, really useful. And as I mentioned, it runs in the background through all of the writing that I do, both academically as well as professionally. Well, there are lots of tools out there to do spell check, and there are lots of tools out there that will find some really high-level grammar issues, meaning for consistency or subject-verb agreement or tone or dangling pieces in phrases and sentences. But when we're involved in accurate and professional communication, we want to avoid all of that, but we also want to make sure that the message that we're trying to convey is actually conveyed. And in that sense, Grammarly is used by me as a personal coach, a personal peer reviewer. And because it helps to elevate what I'm communicating, I strongly recommend this to all of my students and anybody that I work with, because it's a really useful tool. It's not perfect. Don't just accept it like any tool because it suggests it. Just because it suggests something does not mean it's right. But it's often worth looking at, because when you look at it, it helps to have a certain mindfulness in the writing that on our own, it's very easy to miss. And as a result, I strongly recommend at least trying Grammarly, because it's really the best of the tools out there, and I haven't seen anything else like it. Thank you.